We continue our reading of Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus, an invitation to spend a year with your best friend, a daily devotional by author George R. Knight. Today's reading, July 20, the beginning of the end. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he's been dead 4 days." He cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with bandages, and his face wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." John 11:39-44. Here we find one of the most dramatic moments in the life of Jesus and his greatest miracle. The two other individuals whom the Gospel report that he had raised to life were only recently deceased, but here was one who had been dead for 4 days, and that was problematic. In the warm climate of Palestine, in which decomposition sets in rapidly. There's something else important about this story. When Jesus had raised Jairus' daughter in Mark 5, he ordered almost everyone out of the room. And after the event, he told them not to tell anyone. But now, he operates before a large crowd, putting his reputation on the line, as he shouts to Lazarus to come out. And he did. It must have been a heart-stopping moment as they witnessed the bandaged figure staggering out from the tomb. As he performed this miracle, Jesus undoubtedly had thoughts of his own approaching death and resurrection. The raising of Lazarus foreshadowed his own experience, but with differences. Lazarus was raised back to earthly existence, but Jesus to a heavenly ministry. While Lazarus would die again, Jesus would live forevermore. The very publicness of the resurrection of Lazarus would lead to the final events of Jesus' earthly life. His disciples had warned him not to go back to Judea because the Jewish leaders were looking for an excuse to kill him. John 11:8. But now he had provided them with one. From that day on, they took counsel how to put him to death. Verse 53. Interestingly, they also put Lazarus on their hit list because many of the Jews were believing in Jesus as a result of the man's resurrection. John 12, verse 10 and 11. This greatest miracle had taken place in Bethany, just a few miles from Jerusalem. Soon, Jesus would make his final entrance into the great city as the crowds surged into it for the Passover feast. And following that entry would come the climactic events of his life. The Lazarus miracle indicates the life-giving power of Jesus. It is that power that forms the basis of the good news that he came from heaven to share with us. This concludes our reading today of Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus.